So, why was turnout for Trump's rally so low? Well, the Trump administration claims it's because protesters blocked the entrance, which, like most things the Trump campaign says, is not true. The most likely explanation for all of those empty seats in that arena is that as much as some people love Trump, they also love not dying from coronavirus. Oh, and there's another thing that might have thrown off Trump's numbers at the arena, and it has to do with K-pop.
It turns out the Trump campaign might have been trolled by teenagers, TikTok users, and Korean pop music fans. Before the Tulsa rally, these tech-savvy groups mobilized to reserve tickets for an event that they had no intention of attending.
Oh my God, I just registered for Trump's rally and I'm so excited to not go.
While it's unlikely they were solely responsible for this low turnout, their antics may have inflated the campaign's expectations for attendance numbers.
Clearly, not everybody showed up in Tulsa. Maybe people heard the huge numbers and said they didn't want to go through the hassle of the crowds.
God damn, that is hilarious. Getting foiled by a bunch of meddling kids. I mean, that means Trump is basically a Scooby-Doo villain now. Although at least Scooby-Doo villains wear masks. And I'm proud of these teens. I mean, think about it. In 2020, TikTok went from being an app where you learn dances to, hey guys, this is how we abolish the police and take down the president. Now, Trump was reportedly really unhappy when he looked out and saw the empty seats. But you know what? The people who were there were pumped up to see their guy again. Because remember, a week ago, when Trump used two hands to take a sip of water, well, just look at how excited this crowd was when he managed to drink a glass of water with only one.
They said, you couldn't lift your hand up to your mouth with water. I was speaking for a long time. I didn't want to drink it, but I wanted to wet my lips a little bit. See, we have a little glass of water. Where the hell did this water come from? Right? Where did it come from?
Yeah! Woo! I'm proud to live in a country where the president can drink water with just one hand sometimes. It feels like the longer the Trump presidency goes, the more confusing it's going to be for kids studying American history in the future. So Lincoln was hailed for freeing the slaves, and Kennedy was lauded for putting a man on the moon, and Trump got cheers for drinking water? Did they mean inventing water? Is this textbook right? Now, there is a lot going on in the country that President Trump could have talked about at his rally. Could have talked about Black Lives Matter, the coronavirus pandemic, but the topic that he devoted the most time to, 9 full minutes in fact, was how people made fun of the way he walked down a ramp last week.
Last week they called me and they say, sir, West Point, we're ready. I was on the stage for hours. Sun, I came home, I had a nice tan. He said, sir, we can now leave the stage. I say, great, General, let's go. I'll follow you. And he goes like this. Because I'm wearing leather bottom shoes, which is good if you're walking on flat surfaces. It's not good for ramps. I'm being baked. I'm being baked like a cake. I said, General, there's no way I can make it down that ramp without falling on my ass, General. Now I have a choice. I can stay up there for another couple of hours and wait till I'm rescued. Or I can go down this really steep, really, it's an ice skating rink, it's brutal. The first thing I did, I looked at his shoes. Then I looked at mine. So what happens very slippery is I start the journey inch by inch, right? So I took these little steps, I ran down the last 10. And by the way, they're taped, take a look, in almost every instance. It ends just before I run.
I've never seen Trump that defensive before. He spent so much time on this story that now I'm more suspicious than I was. Like before I thought, yeah, maybe Trump has some trouble walking down ramps, but now I'm not even sure that he has feet. It's also wild how Trump will talk for hours about walking down a ramp. But if you ask him about racism in America, he's like, someone's looking into it, we're gonna look into it, let's move on.